Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another First Appearance Friday. Every Friday, I'm going to go through some character's first appearance. Sometimes they're a little bit surprising. It's like, wow, I did not know they first appeared in that particular issue. Sometimes their origin story isn't in their first appearance. They just have an action-adventure tale, and it goes forward, and if you want their origin, you have to find it in another issue. Thankfully, this, we get both. Now, I don't know anybody who doesn't like the character of Zatanna. She's been in comics, of course, animated series. She even appeared in Smallville, live action style. And that was actually a pretty cool, twice, as a matter of fact. It was a pretty cool episode. Now, one time she was mentioned, she left a bottle of wine, but she never actually appeared in that episode. In 1964, she was created by Gardner Fox and Murphy Anderson. She is, of course, one of the most powerful magicians in the DC universe. Also, she works as a stage magician, so along with her backward spell casting, she knows sleight of hand, so forth, you know, all that kind of stuff. She's been a part of the Justice League. She's been a Seven Soldier of Victory. She's been part of Justice League Dark. She's daughter to Zatanna, the magician crime fighter from the Golden Age. Action Comics #1 was his first appearance, and I always found it funny that means Zatanna's full name is Zatanna Zatara. No kidding. Her mother is Sindel Zatara. Yeah, wrap your mouth around that one. Who's actually a member of a race called Homo Magi. So she's really, Zatanna is genetically disposed to magical abilities. It's just, you know, in her blood, literally. And even though basically she would go back to wearing what her father wore, the stage magician thing, of course she wears fishnets and her father wore slacks, she for a while, when she first decided to become a superhero, dressed like her mom in her little Sindel outfit right here. Wow. You know what? Some people say that the lobster head costume was the worst, but I'm going to go with this one. This, however, is the one that everybody says is silly, but this is how I first saw Zatanna. And it is a step up from her bombshell outfit. I am so digressing right now. We're talking about the first appearance, and when I said sometimes you can be surprised where people made their first appearance, this is one of them. Now, I learned a long time ago about this. This isn't something I just researched and found out. But when I did, I was like, really? She made her first appearance there? And yeah, it's in Hawkman #4. I, unfortunately, do not have a cover for her first appearance because this is it. Because usually I would be talking about the cover beforehand. It's Hawkman, and he's falling. And I'm sorry, but of all the, hey, I'm in danger covers you could get for a superhero, Hawkman falling when he's got his wings widespread like that one just, I cannot be fearful for him. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the very first appearance of Zatanna. Right there. And I love this splash page because it's very indicative of what you're going to get in the story. It's a 13-page story. Hawkman was a bit of an anthology, but it was all Hawkman stories. There were just short stories in them. And I do have to say, the face looks about 40 right here. So I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of the image overall. But when you close in, you can see just those minor details that just don't fit quite well. You know, one thing, of course, she looks a little bit older. I do kind of like the pinup look that she's got, the yellow cummerbund and the flower and such. Off to the side, for some reason, you have over on Hawkman's side, where it says story by Gardner Fox, you have, for some reason, a bad guy holding a gun looking like he's going to club Hawkman rather than use it to shoot him, and I thought that was weird. As well as Hawkgirl is slamming two guys in the face with what looks to be a stone tablet, while a guy with a gun is just looking on, what? And not actually shooting. Anyway, we do have words. From the museum in Midwest City, the trail of the mystery treasures led to the lost city of Yin and to the hill of Tara in Ireland. Confronting Hawkman were Oriental bandits. Facing Hawkgirl were criminals from London. And at trail's end for both was the added mystery of the girl who split in two. And I like the way the split looks like bacon, by the way. Especially on the eye. Just saying. One summer morning, an indignant guide bursts into the office of the Midway City Museum curator, Carter Hawkman Hall. You think he got the nickname before he became Hawkman, or did he become Hawkman because of the nickname? Either way, it cannot be easy for him to maintain a secret identity. I studied the Oriental Wing all week long, and the very first day on the job, there's something in there I never saw before. I was so embarrassed when a visitor asked me what it was. Well, if it's your first day, there's going to be a lot of things you haven't seen before. Just saying. Oddly enough, even the description box of the next panel seems to not believe what it's saying just for the sheer, I don't know, stupidity of it. The college student who works in the museum during her summer vacation leads the way to the Oriental Wing doorway. The college student on a summer job leads Hawkman through the museum that he owns. And Carter Hall finds the mysterious piece that arrived, well, mysteriously. Incredible, this looks like a statue from the lost Chinese city of Yin, but we don't own such a thing. And at the same time, another employee comes in and says, I've been hired to radiocarbon date the objects in the errand room, but this goblet wasn't on the list. And Carter sees it. A Celtic ceremonial cup, how'd it get in here? I never saw it before. And that's when Hawkgirl pops in, or, she says, well, you know what? We don't know where these pieces came from. This looks like a job for Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Because nothing helps one think like 45 pounds of fake wing on their back. And after Hawkman and Hawkgirl don their Thanagarian police outfits, and I'm kidding you not, that's exactly what they were back then. They were outfits, and they were official police outfits of Thanagar that just so happened to make them look like earthbound birds, or earthly birds, I should say. Yeah, gotta love the Silver Age, man. It's freaking awesome. But as soon as they put on the outfits, they do what all Silver Age teams did back in the 60s, because that's when the Silver Age was. They split up. And of course, we first see Carter Hall flying over China, and as he's approaching the Honan province, the people on the ground who are trying to steal the treasures are like, look, a birdman. Perhaps he knows we came here to loot the treasures of the ancient Yin. And maybe he comes to take them away from us, and they start shooting at him. And I think there's no wonder. Oh my God, look, there's a guy, he's flying. It's a birdman. There's none of that. It's just, oh, he's taking away our treasure, kapow, kapow. And, they live in a superhero world. They're bound to be jaded. And by that, I mean, they don't get amazed anymore. I don't mean to deal with like jade in China in any way, shape, or form. Not stereotyping, and let's move on. Hawkman draws a 17th century grenade launcher out of his belt as he flies low to the ground, picking up stones so he can use them as bullets. He fires them at the bandits. This won't do anything more than sting those bandits, but he darts from cover as the outlaws duck away from the missiles. It will give me a chance to get within operating distance as the bandits turn back to the attack, lifting their guns. By fanning the air, I'll create turbulence that will raise a smokescreen of rock debris between them and me. Tiny particles of crumbled stone rain down upon the bandits. Birdman, hide behind dust. Oh, gosh. I feel so bad just for reading it like that. It's great. 1964, gang. You got to give a little leeway. Just saying. Okay. Moving on. So we see Hawkman use the dust storm to fight off the bandits, picking them up, dropping them, and even slapping them in the face with his wings, as the remaining bandits break and run, seeking refuge within the ruins. We hide in here, behind locked door. Birdman can't get at us in here. We shoot at him easy. And dodging the hot lead, the Flying Fury seizes a stone dog of foe. I'm going to need the weight to smash in that door. This statue ought to do the trick. Please do not flag my channel for reading it as it was written. We see Hawkman flying high above the fort, gripping that awesome weight in his powerful fingers. Flying at terrific speed, Hawkman rockets towards the doorway. From this angle, their bullets can't reach me. With a deafening crash, stone dog meets wooden door. Next moment, he is through the crumbling door. His wings spread to stop his progress as he drops the stone dog. I have a kick coming, boys. Those feathered pinions once more beat the air and here it is, he says as he kicks the dog. The stone dog Poe, I mean. Like a massive bowling ball, the dog of foe fells the remaining outlaws. I'll hunt for clues about the Shang statue after I take these bandits to the local authorities. Suddenly, from a dimly lit corner, a voice rings out. I azat da ozat imu bi tiga wi. Huh? What's that? A statue of a painted girl? I know I'm wrong about this, I guess, but looking at that panel there where Hawkman first sees Zatanna, is it me or is the position of his eyes, wouldn't they be like right under his nose? Or at least looking out through the nose rather than the eye holes? Shouldn't they draw like the Hawkman's nose lower than what it would be on his human face? I don't know, it kind of looks weird to me. You tell me in the comment section below what you think. So Hawkman realizes that the statue of the painted girl is actually alive, and he picks her up and flies into the air. The mystery of the Shang statue can wait until I solve the problem of this comatose girl. Meanwhile, halfway around the globe in the county of Meth, Ireland, Hawkgirl flies above the ruins of an ancient abbey. Look, it's Hawkgirl. You think she's working with the London Bobbies or with Scotland Yard? We can't take any chances. Shoot. Sorry, I know my Irish accent is just about as offensive as the Asian one. Suddenly, the quiet of the Irish countryside is disturbed. What in the world? Could the goblet have been a trap to lure me here and destroy me? Bullets kick the dirt as the pinioned policewoman scans the rocky ground. Gotta find some way of getting inside that ruin. Ah, I see something I can use as a shield. Upward she rises, a flat paving stone gripped in her hands. Tootsie Rolls go on and on after other candy is gone. Chewy, 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 chew. Long time, chewy, chewy. Tootsie Roll lasts a long time. Yeah, I know using the serious narrator voice on that was kind of silly, but considering I was about to do the Vietnamese hooker from Full Metal Jacket, I think I made a wise decision. The Girl Who Split in Two, Part 2. At top speed, the aerial Amazon flies straight at the open window. Won't nothing stop her? She's gone to be inside in another second. With scant inches to spare, the paving stone moves inside of the window, through the window. I cannot read. Inside, my shield will become a weapon. Like a living battering ram battering freaking hell. With scant inches to spare, the paving stone moves through the window. Inside, my shield will become a weapon. Like a living battering ram, she hits her assailants. Oof! Awk! I don't know how to do that in an Irish accent. I don't know how to do an Irish accent, even. With a sideways flip of her wings, she rolls over in midair. That finishes the last one. As she drops lightly to her feet. Anna, ter, ara, st, ut, there, the, her luf die o mal. What's this? That statue speaking some sort of alien tongue. So Hawkgirl also finds out that Zatanna is alive, and she carries her to her Thanagarian spaceship where she's waiting for Hawkman, who had farther to travel. While she's there, she does some scientific experiments, but finds out that the equipment doesn't exactly work to actually help Zatanna, and that is when Hawkman arrives. Great Polaris! You have a twin of the girl I found. She spoke some odd words I can't get out of my head. I want to write them down and study them. So the two heroes write down the words that they each heard. Why, she was speaking English, but in half words. Let's do what she says. I am Zatanna, daughter of Zatara. I must be put together with my other half body to be normal. From our Absorbiscon, we've learned that Zatara was a famous magician who fought crime more than a decade ago. You did it! Thank you, thank you! I knew when I put the Shang statue and the Celtic cup in your museum, you'd have saved me. And there's an editor's note about the Absorbiscon that says, a remarkable electric device that enables the winged wonder to gain all knowledge that is known on Earth. And I gotta say, as a personal little note, I miss editor's notes. They were really cool for community building, plus they would get you interested in other comic books, because it would be like, oh, well, this happened in issue 176 of this particular comic book. And you would be, oh, I got to go check that out. Just saying. And Zatanna begins to tell her story. Ever since my father, Zatanna the magician, editor's note, the adventures of Zatanna were originally reported in Action and World's Finest Comics. See, I told you, now you're interested, you want to go read Action and World's Finest Comics to find out about the father. Excellent, they should be including editor's notes. Okay, back to the story. Mysteriously disappeared several years ago. I've been trying to find out what happened to him. I've even followed in his footsteps, fighting criminals between engagements on the stage. I do it in secrecy, so you're the only two who know about it. I also use my magic to search for my father. Well, that's actually way too much information, Zatanna. I mean, it's simply just, well, I've been searching for my father. I know magic. That's what happened. I split my body in two, blah, 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 yada, yada. One panel, we're done. I use my magic to put myself in trances during which I try to contact my father. They take a lot out of me, so I can't employ the trances too often. Aratas repa ot im. By speaking words backwards, the secret of my father's magic, I attempt to see and hear him with my mind. Last time I went into such a trance, I've made visual contact. I see him in the ruins of the lost city of Yen and also on the hill of Tara in Ireland, but which, if any, is a true vision. I remembered that my father had spoken of an evil oriental llama he was trying to capture, and also of a sinister being called the Druid. In my haste and eagerness to find my father, I used magic to split my body in half so I could travel two places simultaneously. However, though I've studied Zatanna's magic, I haven't fully mastered it. So, to my dismay, wow, she's one chatty Cathy. Anybody else get a feeling that that big ol' exposition dump was more for our benefit than Hawkman and Hawkgirls? Like she could have just said, thanks for saving me, here's $1 and I'll go buy a house. It's 1964. So Zatanna continues her story, basically saying that, well, when I split off my body, I had just a little bit of magic, and I could only do something to get somebody to save me, so I sent the artifacts to your museum, which makes Hawkman and Hawkgirl go, wait a second, does that mean you know who we are? And she's like, well, we'll table that for later. What I think is funny, though, is that we see that the Asian guys pretty much leave her alone. Okay, she's a statue, whatever. And the Irish guys get all murdery. It's like, oh, that's the lady who almost tried to put us in jail. Let's shoot her in the face. I thought it was kind of funny, because murder. And the story ends with Hawkman offering to solve all of Zatanna's problems as he dons his Absorbiscon and he concentrates hard, but nothing come through about Zatanna. That means no one on Earth has any knowledge of him, knows where he is. Then he must be dead. Not necessarily. He may still be alive, but in a state of amnesia, not know who he is. But if there's anything we can ever do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Then I'll just go on searching. Right now, I better be getting back, so... Anadats repezid. Before their eyes, the winged wonders watch as the girl magician disappears. I wonder if we'll ever see her again. All I know is that if she ever needs us, she'll know where to find us, at the Midway City Museum. Soon after, speaking of the museum, we'd better turn over the Shang statue and the Celtic cup to the governments of the countries from which they came. I just hope they don't ask us how they got them. They'll never believe the answer we give them. And no, I'm not going to do the Tootsie Roll commercial. I already did it. It'll just be a repeat of the old joke. So that was actually pretty good. Tell you the truth, I think it was a really fine adventure. Both Hawkman and Hawkgirl got their due. They got some action in. Zatanna, of course, just kind of exposition dumped. I think that's where it kind of lost a little bit, because she really was just, here's all of my information. It wasn't exactly a natural story for her, but, they got it out there. She doesn't really care about her secret origin, does she? Because she just was very open with the Hawks. It was entertaining, though. Not a lot of Silver Age silliness. There was a little bit of casual racism in there, but it's sign of the times, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't born for the next 6 years. But, yeah, overall, I got to give this a thumbs up. Good times for the first appearance of Zatanna. So what did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is this something you want to see more of? This was a request, so I figured, hey, what the heck? I'll do this one. I otherwise will be basically picking a hero or heroine or villain that made its appearance in that particular month. Like in January, I'm looking at Flash Comics #1. So let me know what you think of these in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please click like, share, get word out about the channel. If you haven't done it already, hit subscribe, and most importantly, ring that notification bell, because YouTube's supposed to have a job to do, and that's their job, is to notify people. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but it's more likely that they will if you ring that bell. Also, this is the way I'm trying to make a living, so if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.